Most people treat their kitchen knives like disposable hardware, but once you get your hands on something like this Swedish steel Nakiri, you start to realize what you have been missing. It is not just about the look, though the design is undeniably striking. The first thing that hits you is the weight. It feels substantial, not heavy in a clunky way, but balanced enough that you feel like you are actually in control of the blade, rather than just swinging a piece of metal around. That full tang construction really makes a difference when you are working through a pile of carrots or dicing up onions for a stew. The steel itself is interesting because it sits at that sweet spot where it is hard enough to keep a razor-sharp edge for a long time, but it is not so brittle that you are constantly worried about it chipping if you hit a stray piece of bone or a hard root vegetable. It is rated at 59 on the Rockwell scale, which is basically the gold standard for a knife you actually want to use every day. Now here is the thing about the handle. It is 5.5 inches long, which is generous. If you have larger hands, you are going to appreciate that extra room to maneuver. The wood finish is smooth, maybe a little too smooth if your hands are wet, so just keep a towel nearby. What really caught me off guard though is the sheath. Usually, you get a cheap plastic sleeve that you end up throwing in a drawer, but this one is solid ashwood with magnets built right in. It is a clever way to keep the edge protected without having to fumble with a bulky block on your counter. It is one of those small, thoughtful touches that makes the whole package feel a bit more premium. Of course, it is not perfect. Because it is a high-carbon alloy, you really have to be diligent about drying it off immediately after washing. If you leave it sitting in the sink, you are asking for trouble, and that is just the reality of working with this kind of steel. It is a bit of a commitment to maintain, but for the performance you get, it is a fair trade. If you are someone who actually enjoys the process of cooking and wants a tool that makes prep work feel less like a chore and more like a craft, this thing is a serious contender. It is sharp, it is balanced, and it looks like it belongs in a professional kitchen, even if it is just sitting on your cutting board at home. Honestly, it is hard to go back to a standard chef knife once you get used to the flat profile of this blade. It is just a solid, well-engineered piece of gear that does exactly what it claims to do without any unnecessary fluff.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.